said, what's an anchor baby? I'm breaking that down. The general term for an anchor baby is like, for example, in the U.S., an anchor baby is a group of immigrants come over from another country and then have a baby in the U.S. The baby is a citizen, and if the baby is a citizen here, the family can stay. That's an anchor baby. So the baby has anchored the family. So you get benefits once you've anchored that baby into that society. You got it? That's what an anchor baby is. And those anchor babies benefit, especially over here, from the 14th Amendment laws that were made for black people. The 14th Amendment, that was written specifically for black people, but all these anchor babies come over here under the 14th Amendment. And that's what we got to talk about on tonight's show.
Quite simply, the deadliest blow in all of martial arts.
Understand, there's a lot of immigrants who go to college. They come over here and, they get all these set-asides and benefits that was supposed to be for us, but they wrapped them around the words minority, and these other groups go and gut it and use up all the resources, and there's nothing in there for us. So they're all for that. They're all for that. Everybody's standing on our backs. But family, understand this. One of the biggest problems that we got in black society, we got white supremacy, but we got a clean house of the collaborators. We got to really clean up and deal with these collaborators. And one way to deal with them is identifying them. We better know who's who, especially who's out here supposed to be speaking for us. We need to know who's who. And the biggest problem to black people in the last, I say, 500 years are anchor baby Negroes. These Negroes who are brought in or whose parents come from different societies and bring them in, or have babies in a town or a culture or a country, and then undermine the people of that culture. Somebody said, what's an anchor baby? I'm breaking that down. The general term for an anchor baby is like, for example, in the U.S., an anchor baby is a group of immigrants come over from another country and then have a baby in the U.S. The baby is a citizen, and if the baby is a citizen here, the family can stay. That's an anchor baby. The baby is a citizen, and if the baby is a citizen here, the family can stay. The baby is a citizen, and if the baby is a citizen here, the family can stay. That's an anchor baby.
Look at my African American son right here. Look at him. Say hello.
Hi.
He's an African American, bro.
See, why are you trying to assume our identity? Why can't you be yourself, man?
He's born here. He's an African American.
But his father is not.
I'm an African American.
See, that's the problem right there.
I'm not illegal anymore. I'm not illegal anymore. I'm not illegal anymore.
You're not an African American. You're not one of us, man.
So the baby has anchored the family. Once they have a baby on U.S. soil, the baby is technically a U.S. citizen. So you get benefits once you've anchored that baby into that society. You got it? That's what an anchor baby is. And those anchor babies benefit, especially over here, from the 14th Amendment laws that were made for black people. The 14th Amendment, that was written specifically for black people, but all these anchor babies come over here under the 14th Amendment. They all come over and anchor their society from the 14th Amendment. And some of these anchor babies are extremely destructive to black society. And these people from different cultures, these anchor babies, even some of the black ones, are extremely detrimental to black society because they had dual allegiances to different countries, primarily the country of their fathers.
From Jamaica. I'm from Cashapa, Kingston. 4 roads. And you hear that? 81. Look on the woman how she move. Blood cleat. African American.
You're a damn Jamaican. That's what you are, man.
I am an African. I wouldn't even put the American in it. I am.
Okay, well, you call yourself that then. Don't assume our identity.
And John Henry Clark talked about this. A lot of these people, the mixed race people usually have an allegiance to the conquering father. We're going to break it all the way down. So this started with the Portuguese. They were the buffer class. They're anchor babies over there in West Africa. Those are the ones that did everything they could to undermine African society. You see some of these anchor babies and these Negroes out here who have dual allegiances. When they have allegiances here, which is very minimal because we're just their come up, and they have allegiance to their parents or their mother's land or their father's land.
From Jamaica. I'm from Cashapar, Kingston. 4 roads. And you hear that?
They do everything they can to undermine us in many cases. Just look at The Root and look at Shea Butter Twitter. Most of them, you'll see an American flag or an African or Caribbean flag on their profiles, or just the African or Caribbean flag. They won't even have the American flag on there. These are these people who have dual allegiances. And that's dangerous. See, foundational Black Americans, we only have one allegiance. This is why there's certain things that most of us will do, certain things we don't do when it comes to dealing with the white supremacists. But some of these Negroes, they're like, well, hell, I'm not one of these Negroes really. I'm kind of sort of like them, but not really. So they have dual allegiances. So it's nothing for them to undermine us. Y'all saw that Negro who got on the reparations panel? That Negro, he tried to hide his Puerto Rican background, but he had dual allegiances. This dude had an allegiance to Puerto Rico, to that culture. And he even said, hell, I can get more benefits for just claiming black. So let me drop this Puerto Rican thing and just come up. Let me stop saying it openly. And Candace Owens, too. People forget Candace Owens, for years, she was claiming to be Caribbean because her family's from the Virgin Islands. So she claimed that. She claimed a different culture. That was her thing. And notice in these reparations meetings, and when Candace Owens, remember Candace Owens, there was some kind of thing where she spoke with Congress, and the first thing she said, well, my grandfather was on a plantation, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be their cred. That's them saying, okay, look, I'm qualified because I'm black like everybody else, but now let me throw all the black folks under the bus. Because my great-great-grandfather, who I have no allegiance to, yeah, he was on a plantation because I'm an anchor baby, but now let me throw all you Negroes under the bus. We don't need reparations, and we just need to work harder because we're lazy. Just like that Puerto Rican coon. Yeah, my great-great-grandfather was from the Hughes family at Monticello with Thomas Jefferson, blah, 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 and now black folks shouldn't get reparations. Yeah, look at the Angela Rise and the Roland. Remember, Roland was talking all that shit about we ain't gonna get no reparations. Don't let Roland fool you. Roland, he has a Haitian background. Roland was talking that shit real heavy. Look up his social media. Roland was talking that. Don't let Roland fool you. You seat at the table. Don't let him fool you. These folks go out of their way. Look at all these Boule Negroes, all these folks. They go out of their way to try to undermine us. They go out of their way to try to undermine us. And I was debating a white supremacist suspect on Twitter earlier today. And they try to play the minority camaraderie card. And this is something that black folks are going to have to stop going for, because people try to run to us and say, hey, man, I'm not racist. I'm mixed with European, Hispanic, and Native American. So, I'm not white. I'm a minority too. We should be allies. And these people try to run that game on us. I'm a minority too. When it's convenient. Now understand, these people, they classify themselves as white, but when they get around us to try to run game and try to undermine us, they try to play the minority card. And also when it comes time to get some benefits, when it comes time for them to get a student loan or some affirmative action or some type of set aside, then they start playing up their minority thing. They darken up a little bit. But understand, when somebody tells you they're from all these different cultures, how they ain't white, well, I'm Persian, Hispanic, and Native American. What they're telling you is that they're coming from 3 different cultures with their own individual form of anti-black hatred. So when they tell you they're Hispanic, Native American, Persian, or whatever, you're getting a triple threat of anti-black racism. Do you understand that? This is why these Negroes are so damn dangerous to us and some of these other minority groups, quote unquote. When they come to us and they got all these different mixtures, we're getting different mixtures of anti-black hate. This is why their racism and vitriol to us is damn near 10 times as much as the damn white supremacists. When they tell me how many ethnicities they come from, I'm really on alert with their ass. Because now you're about to triple down with your anti-black hatred. When they tell you they from Persia or whatever, anywhere with that Native American, understand some of these Native Americans, they were slave owners. Don't let them fool you. Many of these Native Americans were slave owners, and many of them are $5 Indians. They're not real Native Americans anyway. And I broke down that Hispanic anti-black hatred. I'm gonna get on that in a minute. I'm gonna break that down. But they're giving you 3 reasons why they're gonna hate harder on you, because now they want to impress white daddy. So they're gonna use their anti-black hatred from their particular cultures with their own little flavor on it. So they tell you, well, I'm not racist. I'm not like the white supremacists. I'm Chinese, East Indian, and Portuguese. So you're giving me 3 flavors of anti-black racism. I'm getting 3 flavors of some of that East Indian racism, which they hate black folks. Some of that Chinese racism where Chinese people are treated janky over there. And Portuguese racism where they've been racist since the Moors were over there. So I'm getting all that anti-black racism from your ass, because that's the thing that binds all of you. Understand, family, all of these non-black groups, when they come around you, they might be on some, well, I'm not a white supremacist, but that doesn't make you not anti-black. See, this is why I use the terms interchangeably. This is why I use the term anti-black a lot. And we have to use that term more to describe these groups, because they'll try to play, well, I'm not white, my grandmother's this. No. You're still anti-black. And that locks them in right there. You're not going to play the ethnic card. You can't play it no more, because no matter what ethnicity you try to claim, it's still anti-black at the end of the day. You dig? But we don't go for that minority thing. When people tell you or run to you with that minority talk, when they start talking all that minority and we all in this together, no. We're not in this together and we're not the same, and I still have to deal with your culture's anti-blackness. And that thing is real heavy in the Latino Hispanic community. Because you got to understand with Latino, and I'm not shitting on Latinos or Hispanics, because we got some cool ones. But generally, as a culture, Hispanic culture, by definition, is a mulatto culture. It's a mixed culture. When you talk about Hispanic culture, you're only talking about a culture that's 500 years old. Let's talk history and geography. When you're talking about Hispanic culture, and you're talking, Hispanic is basically here in the Western Hemisphere. So that culture is only 500 years old. It's a relatively new culture in relation to the rest of the dominant world society. And that culture, by definition, is a mixed race culture. So by definition, the allegiances are going to be dual, even triple. They have dual allegiances. Do you understand? or even triple. Because they'll claim Spain. They all claim Spain, and everything else is secondary. Spain is first. Notice, whenever you talk to a person who's Hispanic, no matter where they are in the Western Hemisphere, in a Spanish-speaking country, their first allegiance is with the fatherland or their motherland, Spain. Well, I Spanish. No matter how dark they are, no matter how light they are, no, I Spanish. They're Spanish. In Mexico, they're Spanish. Puerto Rican, they're Spanish. The Dominican Republic, they're Spanish. According to them, they put Spain first. Like I said, they're going to have an allegiance first with the fatherland, or the conquering land. And second, you talk to a Hispanic person, once they tell you what they're mixed with, the first thing they're going to say is Spanish. The second thing is Indian, Native American. That's the second. Which many of them are not mixed with no damn Native American, but they're going to tell you that. They be jet black as hell. I mixed with Taino Indian. I'm Taino Indian. I mixed with Taino Indian. You're not mixed with no goddamn Taino Indian. Most of the Tainos died off centuries ago. You ain't mixed with no damn Taino Indian. I Taino Indian. No, you're not, Jose, with your black ass. You ain't even mixed with Spanish, nigga. They brought your ass over and just made you learn Spanish. They ain't mixed with you. Some of these niggas ain't even mixed with Spanish. They just taught their ass Spanish as a language. I Spanish. No, nigga. They just taught you Spanish. You ain't Spanish. You understand? But this is the mindset that they done put on niggas. I Aztec warrior. No, nigga. You an ashy warrior. You're not Aztec. You're an ashy warrior. Put some lotion on with your black ass. Because you are not mixed. You're an ashy warrior, my nigga. You take the sombrero off, nigga, and put on a Kango and a kufi. And make me an empanada. But the thing is, in Hispanic culture, it's a mixed culture by definition. So there's always going to be these dual allegiances, these dual alliances. So the blackness is something that they just have to come to terms with. That's the last straw. That's their come up. They come to us when they're in danger. You understand? They have to come to black society. They have to claim the blackness when white mommy and white daddy is reprimanding them too much. Then they come to terms with the blackness. Because when you look, and I said this on my broadcast the other day, when you look at Hispanic countries in the Western Hemisphere, when they got their independence, it was the black people there fighting to get it. When they got their independence, it was the black people in those nations that helped them to get it. In the Dominican Republic, that was the Haitians went over there and got the Spanish off of them, and they wanted the Spanish to be back on them. Bolivar, I think that's his name, down there in Colombia, Venezuela, those places, they went to Haiti to ask for help to get the Spanish off of them. Do y'all know that? Venezuela, Colombia, many of these Spanish countries, because they saw the work the Dessalines and Toussaint was putting in against them damn white supremacists. Some of these Hispanic leaders went to Haiti and said, hey, can y'all get them off our ass too? And the Haitians, I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied. The Haitians in Haiti helped these countries get their damn independence. And then they all turned on Haiti. Look at Cuba. One of the rebel leaders that helped get Cuba its independence was Antonio Maceo. Black dude. They called him the Bronze Titan. Black dude. Getting the Spanish off the ass of the Cubans. Down in Mexico, Gaspar Yanga. Black dude getting the black people down in Mexico, and that's something that we really got to explore. The black influence down in Mexico. Black people have been putting in work down in Mexico. It was always black people getting them Spanish off their ass. They never put in no work against the white supremacists. When you look at history, You don't see anybody Hispanic in the Western Hemisphere putting in no work against the white supremacists, getting them off their backs. You don't see that. Not only that, you had, and I talked about this the other day, you had people like Vicente Guerrero, who's a black man who fought in the War of Independence for Mexico and became the president there because he helped get the Spanish off their ass. And then they ended up, the white Mexicans down there ended up getting him assassinated because they didn't want a black man running the country, because he was going to rise everybody else up. He was going to make everybody equal. And also remember, there was a lot of black folks from the U.S., a lot of people who were freeing themselves. A lot of Seminoles went down there to Mexico and they protected Mexico. People like John Horse, these were riders, man. You had black folks up here whooping ass and they went down there to protect Mexico. Look up Cinco de Mayo. Those were black soldiers fighting off the French. That's what Cinco de Mayo is about. On May 5th of, I think, 1860, France was going to come in, as Napoleon III was going to come in and take over Mexico and join with the Confederates. Napoleon III was going to give arms to the Confederacy during the Civil War because, again, France always wanted to get another stronghold back in the Western Hemisphere. They wanted to get, because they lost all that land because of the Haitian Revolution, so they were trying to, get back. So it was some black folks down there in Mexico fighting, those black soldiers fighting, and that thing became Cinco de Mayo, the battle that they're talking about. I think it's the Battle of Puebla, something like that. You dig? So we've always fought and whipped ass for these Hispanic countries, and then they turn around and then join with the oppressor class against us. This is why I tell folks to hold their damn nuts. Like when folks are showing all of these images and talking about what's going on down in the border now, my thing is this. If you're trying to get into another country when you're not supposed to, I mean, you're putting yourself in a situation. They're going to have to hold their own nuts. It's not my job to be sympathetic or whatever, but these people are putting themselves in danger, knowing that there's a major danger with going to the border and all that old stuff. Oh yeah, I'm not going to go out. I ain't fighting for nobody, because we don't get all this damn sympathy when our children are out here dying in the damn streets and they're not trying to sneak into nobody else's country. We got people in their own country trying to live and we're getting slaughtered. There's no national outcry, so I don't have no national outcry for anybody else. I don't take the high road. I take the equal road. Everybody's going to get treated for me the same way they treat me. You're going to get treated the same way. You're going to have the same concern that you give me. I'm on an equal train. I am nobody's fucking slave. I'm not about to sit around whining and crying, oh Lord, what's happening? No. Y'all, I don't see all this wailing and crying and we're going to boycott different companies and all this. And ain't nobody doing that for us. So I ain't about to move a muscle. I got to save my energy for my folks. Same energy. Ain't nobody hating on you, but hey, Tariq, man, what's going on in the border is horrible. What's going on above the border is horrible too, and I'm dealing with that, and I don't feel no energy from nobody. So since you're not giving me no energy, I don't really have the energy to give you. Handle yours, because I'm forced to handle mine. I'm not on the Kumbaya train. Because the thing is, nobody's going to be grateful anyway. Why are black people jumping to the rescue as if these people are going to be grateful to us? Nobody's grateful to us. I want black folks to stop putting on the cape for all these people running down, oh Lord, this is horrible. That ain't going to work. That's not going. You're trying to ingratiate yourself to these people, all these different groups. They're going to still have hatred for you. Did y'all see footage of this white police officer in St. Louis got shot? This brother shot him at a store. The black dude shot this dude at some kind of check cashing store. And there was some black women around, and the police officer died.
Charles Davenport was a prominent biologist in the late 19th century. In 1904, Davenport became the director of Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory. From there, he began a series of investigations into human mental and personality traits that have been inherited. 6 years after working at Spring Harbor, Davenport started the Eugenics Record Office, a research institute that collected biological and social information about the American population, serving as a centre for eugenics and human hereditary research. What was dark about the ERO was that family pedigrees were recorded, and it provided training for eugenics field workers who were sent to analyse individuals in various institutions. Davenport also found funding from the Carnegie Institution, Rockefeller Foundation, and the Harriman Railroad Fortune. In 1911, the Carnegie Institution supported a preliminary report of the Committee of the Eugenic Selection of the American Breeders Association to study and report on the best practical means for cutting off the defective germ plasm of the human population. The report had 18 points, and number 8 was euthanasia. Along with the money came political power and many willing ears within American high society. At around the same time, Henry Herbert Goddard, a prominent American psychologist, was also working with eugenics-based theories. He was one of the first proponents of the IQ test and was the first to translate intelligence test into English. Goddard was fascinated with intelligence within the population and pushed for most US institutions to incorporate IQ testing. Throughout his career, he helped develop the new topic of clinical psychology. Davenport, in 1922, attempted to prove the dangers of interracial relationships with his book Race Crossing in Jamaica. The book gained wide ridicule, as the conclusions within stretched far beyond the data provided, and in some cases even contradicted it. A disproportionately higher number of women of African and Native American backgrounds were forcibly sterilised under the laws written with Lauchlin's model. Scarily, who was seen as genetically inferior was down to the flawed and racist thinking that non-whites had a higher chance of bearing children with mental and physical defects. By the 1960s, 64,000 individuals being forcibly sterilised under eugenic legislation in the United States. The law would be used as the basis for the law of the prevention of hereditary diseased offspring, the 1933 Nazi legislation that would ultimately result in 400,000 people being sterilised against their will.